the court notified me that my final decree of divorce has been approved by the judge. I know that it sucks being alone. I come home and I'm alone. I go everywhere alone. I don't hardly talk to him anymore. I don't blame him. I filed for the divorce. So I'm sure people are wondering, well, you filed. Why are you so upset? Why are you crying? Just because you make a decision that you think is going to end up making things better doesn't mean that you have to give up the fact that you love that person or that you did it because you were trying or whatever. I've never met anybody like him, and I've never loved anybody like him either, but I don't want a divorce. I still am very much in love with my husband.
There's so many women that go through this right here. They let the family members, the friends, the attorneys boost them up. Yeah, he ain't nothing. You can get him for everything he's got. The punishment and torture that goes through divorce, guys, I say it all the time. And this young lady, maybe she was like thinking, hey, I'm going to call his bluff. Maybe I'll use this. I'll weaponize the court system to kind of like maybe try to call his bluff to see if I can twist him into doing what I want him to do or acting a certain way. And some women will go to the very end of it. And then when they finally get that piece of paper, and this woman, don't tell me she's in her 30s. This woman looks like she's in her late 40s, early 50s. And you're really going to find out how cold it is. You're going to find out. It always happens. You find out that these streets is not what you thought it was. And the fact that this man has options, even when he is divorced, you did him a favor. Because he probably was trying to like, no, let's not do this. Let's work this out. And she's probably like, no. Probably just ran him through the ringer. All the stuff that you guys don't know about that ladies do in divorce. And it's ridiculous. And hey, now all of a sudden you had an epiphany. I should have worked it out. I'm still in love with him. That's how women are. That's why, fellas, you have to make a woman live all that stuff, man. You have to make her live all that if she comes with some foolishness like that. But we got another clip, guys. Let's go ahead and get into it and see what this lady's talking about. Let's go.
I'm honestly really sad right now, if you can tell. That's like the weirdest thing about grief is like, didn't cry for 2 days, was good for 2 days, and now I'm by myself, and it's just like the hurricane, like it's here again, you know? It's, the tsunami is back. Like, it's just so hard, and like, I'm frustrated because my whole world got disheveled. And I feel like he has moved on, and he is healed and moved on and doesn't care about me, which I don't want him to come back into my life, but it still just sucks, you know? I can't imagine, thank you guys for sharing stuff, like stories that you've gotten through this and it's been however many years, because I could not imagine that. I can't imagine being with someone for a really long time and going through this, Sorry if you can hear my cat literally playing in the background. I was only with him for 4.5 years, 1 year married. I could not imagine, though, being with him for longer and this happening, but it's just so sad sometimes, and it's like so hard to have to learn how to do life by yourself again. Like, you don't have that person to call all the time or that best friend to go do things with. And that's what scares me. I've never truly been alone and worked on myself, and I'm terrified of it. Not me crying on the internet more, but I just want to share all of it, the good and the bad, so that I have this to look on a year from now and know that I did heal, but also to help anybody else who's going through heartbreak. Like, heartbreak sucks. It sucks so bad. You physically feel the pain, emotionally, mentally, everything. And again, I had 2 really, really good days. Did not cry at all those 2 days. And then, as soon as I'm by myself, or as soon as, I do something or something triggers me, it just all comes flooding back. And like, it's just a lot. Grief sucks. This whole thing sucks so bad. And I'm literally praying and thinking about anybody else going through a divorce. I just wanted to talk about the fact that it's okay to sit down and miss the person sometimes, miss the connection you had. I think a lot of the times I try, and I think I'm really strong about what happened to me most of the time. And I think
that's the big thing. The key thing on what she said was, I feel like I'm so disheveled. I feel like he's moved on. They don't want to see you moving on. They want to see you suffering. If they know that you moved on, oh man, that's definitely an issue. Even if she's quote unquote moved on, she's married, had kids, she's been married 2 or 3 times, she still wants you to be stuck over her. And like I said, women use the court system to do this, right? And Jordan Peterson said something a while ago, like women have very few outlets for aggression or to basically affect the man. And they know one of those ways, if she's married, even though the man had the choice in marrying her, right? That in divorce, she's going to do her worst to damage you. That's one of the ways in divorce, other than her cheating on you, sleeping with another man. But the biggest thing is women want to get an emotional response out of you, which means that she's not moved on, really. If she wants to see you suffer, that just goes to show the dysfunction of women. And this woman is all in tears. He's moved on and it just breaks my heart. Why does it break your heart? If you made the conscious decision to basically say, I don't want to be with you anymore, let's go ahead and go our separate ways. I've moved on, if that's the case, but you shouldn't move on. That's how it was with my ex-wife. She was just like, I don't want you moving on. She didn't say that, but that was the ultimate thing. And she wouldn't sign the divorce papers. And like, I already gone through all that, man. But let's finish up with what this lady said with her little sob story that she's got going on here. Let's go.
I haven't cried about my ex in a long time, actually. But today, I just kind of sat down, and this is a holiday I probably would have spent with his family too, and it's okay to just like miss what you had sometimes. Like, I know that we try and tell ourselves like, well, you know, they weren't right for us, or maybe they were a bad person, or maybe they did this, or they did this to you. And like, while I think that's true, and like, I think that you can tell yourself that, I mean, that's like, I try and put on this really, sorry, this is very rambly, but I really did just pick up the camera and start talking. I think what I'm trying to say is that we tell ourselves, or at least I do, if I'm thinking about my ex, I typically am just like, nope, not going to think about him. Like, we're detaching, you know what I mean? And that works the majority of the time. But sometimes you can just sit down and cry. You can sit down and let out your feelings. And I think people who don't ever cry about things, or people who don't ever let themselves think about it, like, we have to think about it. We have to feel the things. And that doesn't make you weak. Like, being vulnerable does not make you weak. I really hate when people say that. Because life is all about the human emotions and what we go through. You know what I mean? Like, that is literally life. And I just think that it's okay to just sit down and miss what you had. It's okay to, and that's not even me saying, oh, I miss my ex, I miss blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that sometimes I miss having a connection like that, where I felt like, oh, I had a person, right? And like, I had my person. I miss that for sure, but I think sometimes it's okay. It's okay to grieve. It's okay to sit. And I think a lot of the times we try and distract, or we try and fill with voids, or we try and move on to the next person. And some days it's okay to just sit, and it's okay to have a cry and get back out there in life.
Something really quickly. So whenever I figured out that my ex-husband was dating the girl that I was worried about at the end of our marriage, I was so sad at first. And then I realized how much stronger I am now than even I was 6 months ago, because that would have made me feel devastated for like weeks, I feel like. And I was really only sad for like a day or two. Like, yeah, it still hurts. It's disappointing and it hurts. But it's almost like the anticipation of what I thought was going to be my worst nightmare. Now that it like came true, I'm just kind of like, oh, okay. Like, that says way more about him than it does me and our relationship. You know what I mean? So yeah, I just kind of wanted to share that and share.
Yeah, all relationships must come to an end. All things must come to an end. And a lot of times in divorces, we do realize what we think is our worst nightmares. This person's sleeping with someone else, they're sleeping with your best friend. Things happen. You just have to let people live their own lives. You're not in control of anyone at the end of the day, and you can't make anybody do anything that they don't want to do. Just how it goes. Like life, and people say I'm callous the way I look at life, but that's how it is, folks. Just keeping it funky with you. Anyway, let me know what you guys think about these clips. Comment below. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. Much blessings and abundance. Stick around for the next videos. It's going to pop up on the screen below. That's where I'm going to see you guys at. It's your favorite everything. This is Wisdom. Let's run it up to 1 million. Quit playing with me. Peace.